Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Honey Badger dab of the day. Bringing out the big guns because I'm in a bad situation here. It hurts too much. I cannot stand it anymore. I just want it to stop. It might not even be worth it. I can't go on. How many times have you thought that, said that, been in a position like that, or known somebody who is? Well, I'm there right now. I call it a gunshot. Like somebody has these steel pinchers on me, big ones, and it's clamped around my back. Just incredible. Well, if those things sound familiar, if those terms that I use sound familiar, these types of thoughts running through the mind of a pain patient are not that unusual. In fact, they're very common. Unfortunately, thoughts of feeling victimized, when repeatedly stated, form an attitude of defeat and end up magnifying awareness of pain sensations, limiting tolerance of pain, and continuous cyclical process of undermining coping efficiency. What that means is somewhere, even with the gunshot, the burning, horrible pain, we got to find a way. Thoughts and attitudes are critical factors when you're in this type of pain in determining how a person gets through the next hour, day, week, the present, and the future. There are some strategies that we can implement immediately and repeatedly to try to regain control over our thoughts and our attitude, which have been ripped from us by the horror of the pain. These strategies can boost pain tolerance, hopefully, and effectively limit my emotional suffering and yours. Let's discuss. First, we need to handle pain in the present, here and now. Well, there's no doubt that pain is very uncomfortable. It is never truly intolerable until you believe that it is. I keep yelling to Mrs. Stoner, honey, don't you think I should go for a walk? Don't you think I should come downstairs? She screams, no, bed rest. So what often exaggerates pain, awareness, and intensity is fear of its current intensity. Worry about how much more intense it might get, because this combined with worry might never end. So I'm worried because I'm going on Tuesday. They got me in, and I'm going to have a denervation, which is one of the toughest things they do to me. But the doctor actually responded when I said, isn't there anything else we can do? He said, there's nothing else for you at this point. That's very difficult for me. But by staying in the present moment, we might be able to direct our efforts to cope with pain, 1 minute, one situation at a time, without fearing for the negative future. And as we succeed in tolerating pain in one moment, you end up bolstering your confidence in the ability to succeed in the next and the next and the next. It's how you break what's called the pain-fear cycle. I'm in it. I'm in a pain-fear cycle right now. Sleeping, sitting, laying, doesn't matter. Standing, doesn't matter. It's all the same level of pain. You use pain as a signal of challenge. Think about it. The usual reaction to pain flaring up, intruding more than expected, is passivity, waiting for the medicine to work, limiting activities, avoiding everyone. Well, this may be necessary during a pain flare-up. Many times, it's a more of what's called a habitual response. It might be what we're used to doing as a reaction to pain. Pain people need to be aware that passive responding sends you a strong message. Pain controls my life. That's why I'm fighting. That's why I'm fighting to get my fingernails up on the windowsill. So instead of doing that, I'm trying to consider responding to a pain situation like this by doing active coping strategies. Maybe changing or challenging myself in those situations with mental and physical ways to cope, all which might help limit the feeling of being overwhelmed. I need to challenge myself, and we need to challenge ourselves to respond more effectively to pain situations than we previously thought possible. Think about it. We're about to embark upon what we used to think was impossible. You might want to use pain as a signal to relax. Muscle tension increases the number and speed of pain messages sent to your brain. More tension, more pain. More intensity, more awareness. So as you're stressed and worried, reaction to your pain, it also interferes with pain tolerance. More stress or worry equals more pain awareness. So now let's look at the opposite. More physically relaxed responses to pain sensations mean fewer, slower pain messages sent to your brain, less stress and worry, better tolerance of pain. Essentially, it's learning to relax or use skills of relaxation in the face of the pain, bolstering your pain tolerance and coping confidence. I have very high tolerance of pain. What simply means is I won't kill myself because of the pain, because I've had it so long and it's just horrible, but sometimes it gets overwhelming even for me. But maybe shifting focus of concentration away from the pain is what's needed here. Whatever your brain focuses on usually becomes the dominant thing in your awareness. Pay attention to an itch, it magnifies and gets the best of you. Pay attention to a worry, it gets more frequent and distressing. Pay attention to pain, logically, the sensation appears to magnify. So I, for the rest of the day, am going to try to ignore my pain, believe it or not. I'm going to practice not paying attention to what's bothering me, physically or emotionally. It's an important coping skill that I have to learn to develop. To do it, it's like a distracting hobby. It's like music, nature. It's like talking to others, but restricting things to non-pain topics. You see, this way, and many other ways, break the cycle of what's called pain magnification. So you concentrate on coping instead of paining. I'm going to try that as soon as this video is over. A lot of times I do not listen to my own words, but at this point I'm really going to start to listen more. So use pain coping as a reminder of your toughness, because with practice of active pain coping skills, we can become stronger and more effective in our ability to manage the pain. We got to remind ourselves how well we're coping and how much better we'll cope if we keep practicing and get better at it. We need to give ourselves praise. We need to reward ourselves just like we succeeded in something. We need to help ourselves to see how we're becoming mentally tough facing new pain that you've never had before. And you have to reassert control. You have to learn ways to adjust, cope with the pain. And finally, you have to give yourself credit for the toughness you have. That's right. I'm as tough as Refrigerator Perry on the football field. I challenge anyone to go through what I deal with. And unfortunately, you've got to be prepared to deal with the pain. Who would want to handle the loved one's emergency? Who would you want? Someone new to the situation, someone who's read a book about it, or someone who's practiced and experienced in how to manage it? No contest. It's the person who's practiced and experienced. Well, guess what? Every pain patient has emergencies. Be prepared for them. Not just by relying on health professionals, but relying on ourselves and those around us. I've got a plan. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not even leaving the upstairs. Okay? Think about pain situations you're likely to deal with. Then maybe develop a written coping plan. I'm not kidding. Consider alternatives, backup plan, just like you were running a business plan. Have supplies that you need. I have all this stuff. Plan what you think you'll need. Plan what you'll think you'll say to yourself. Think what you'll focus on. All the contingencies. I got my magazines, my military magazines. I've got a book. I've got 2 TVs set up. I have an iPad. I have everything. Well, have emergency practice drills if you're not doing it now, because if the crisis comes, use the plan. Afterwards, look at what worked and didn't look. Crisis coping plan is a very effective tool. You don't have to bring it out of your quiver, out of your arsenal, unless you need it, but it's better to have it than not. The old saying is, it's better to fix the roof when the sun is shining instead of when the rain is pouring. Knowing you have that plan to cope is half the battle. Finding out how well it works will bring you feelings of being a master. So what you've got to do is you've got to use pain somehow as a signal to relax. And you know what? Eventually you're going to get there. Eventually you're going to get to a place where not only do you understand the pain you're in when it's this bad, but you give yourself the credit for making it through. That's the key. Because it's as bad as it is, It's not your average pain. It's not a regular backache. This is different. And when it gets different like this, you need to do different things for it, okay? There might be the need to stay in bed with your legs elevated. Whatever you gotta do, you gotta do it. It's now time to say yes. That's right. Bring out all the things you know about dealing with pain and have them available. Use your tools. Use your brain, and you'll be able to better deal with your pain. Cheers, everybody. If you got something out of today's video, please subscribe. Send me your comments. I love responding to them. And let's all try to have less pain today. Cheers. Wow. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck. Cheers, everybody.